Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Dr. Deanna Perry, and I am the Director of Undergraduate Student Programs for the Center for the Enhancement of Education, the Center for Engineering, for the Enhancement of Engineering Diversity at Virginia Tech. And today we just wanted to make sure that everyone had all of the information that you needed in order to make an informed decision on whether or not you would like to be a part of our community with Hypatia and Galileo Live and Learning Communities. And so just a little bit more information about me. I recently started with Virginia Tech in March, at the beginning of this past March. And one of my main jobs is to pretty much run the Hypatia and Galileo Live and Learning Community. So anything that deals with anything with Galileo and Hypatia, that all the students would come to me, and as far as the peer mentors and all of that goodness. So if you ever have any questions or concerns, please feel free to reach out to me, and I will get back with you. So with the Hypatia and Galileo Live and Learning Communities, they both are a part of CEED. And as I said before, CEED is the Center for the Enhancement of Engineering Diversity. And if you want additional information on what CEED is and all of the other programming that we offer, you can go to the www.eng.vt.edu/CEED, that's CEED, for additional information. But pretty much we were created to make sure that our students, no matter what their background, were able to come to Virginia Tech and be successful. Whether you're from a low-income family or from underrepresented areas, we want to make sure that there is an office that's here for you that will make sure that you're successful. And we've been around for a little over 28 years as far as student support goes. And Hypatia has been here for 19 years, and Galileo has gone on for a little over 14 years. And if you don't know, Hypatia is the Live and Learning Community for the females, and Galileo is the Live and Learning Community for males. And so with the Live and Learning Communities, it's pretty much a time for the students to be able to live in the same building with other students within that same Live and Learning community. So both Hypatia and Galileo, they both live in Lee Hall, and they're all engineering students. So you have the opportunity to live with other Galileo and Hypatia students and to be able to work with the different students on studying and getting assistance with your classes and peer mentors and all that. And you can actually live in the community for more than 1 year after your freshman year if you want to move on to be a peer mentor or a upper class leader. You do have that option. So if you would like to live in Hypatia or Galileo after your first year, then you have that option in a leadership role. And so with both of the programs, it was designed to help students transition from high school to college, and then after college going into a career. So we're not just your freshman year, that's it after you're finished with your freshman year. We actually help students throughout their time in as a Virginia Tech student. So if you have any questions, concerns on how to transition from first year to your sophomore year, we help you become more stable and being successful as a upper class student. And then also we help prepare students for job interviews. We connect students with different employers and everything. So it's not just a 1 year and you're finished with us. We want to make sure that you become a part of our community and you stay and you are successful after you graduate. And then we also want to make sure that this is your home away from home. We all know that a lot of us are coming like hours away from home, and we want to make sure that, especially parents, you want to make sure that your kids are taken care of. And we make sure that the students feel comfortable and that they feel like they have someone outside of their parents that are there with them on a regular basis that makes them feel comfortable and make them want to stay and be a part of our community. And some of the things that we explore during the semesters are career exploration. We do professional development opportunities. And then we also want to make sure that as engineers that we are focusing on diversity within engineering for students, because when they go out into the real world, they will have to experience some people who they're not used to coming in contact with. So making sure that diversity issues are covered during their time here at Virginia Tech. So just a little background information about the how impactful Galileo and Hypatia are. If you can see here from our 2018-2019 cohort of students, our retention rates are fairly strong. We have at least 98% retention rate from first year to second year for our Galileo and Hypatia students within the College of Engineering. And this is as opposed to the 96% for those students who did not, those College of Engineering students who did not participate in any type of CEED programming. And then on average with the GPAs for both Hypatia and Galileo, it's at least a 3.4 with the control group, those students who didn't participate in any CEED programming being at 3.13. So you can see participation in Hypatia and Galileo actually helps the students be more successful and actually boost their GPA with all of the programming that we offer the students. So coming into our 2021 academic year, as you can see, we are offering up to 338 male students into the community with 72 upper class leaders. So we're allowing for 338 first year students to be in the Galileo community, and they will have 72 upper class members to help them on those within the programming. And the floors that are housed with Galileo are half of the third floor, the fourth floor, all of the fifth floor through the seventh floor. So I know someone earlier asked that question about what floors are, who's on what floor for the building, and this is how that looks. And then, excuse me, with Hypatia, which is for the female students, we are allowing for up to 280 students, female students, to become a part of the Hypatia Live and Learning community, unless we get more women students who are interested in being a part of Hypatia. Typically, we have more applicants for Galileo, so that's why Galileo has more spots than Hypatia. But if we can get more women students to come in and want to be a part of Hypatia, the more the merrier. So if you know any women who are interested, who have been accepted into Virginia Tech, or who are waiting to see where they want to go, have them apply. It's okay for you to apply for the program now and get a decision, and that can potentially help make your decision. And then as far as the upper class leaders, we have 78 female upper class leaders that will help with Hypatia. And Hypatia is the floors in Lee Hall are going to be the first and second floor, and half of the third and half of the fourth floors. And so, as I stated before, all Galileo and Hypatia students will live in Lee Hall. There are no other students in Lee Hall except for the Hypatia and Galileo students and the upper class leaders. And so the structure of the first year student community for you is, our goal is to help you as a first year student to be supported with that transition from being a high school student to a college student. And as I stated previously, it's not the same being a high school student as it is being a college student. In high school, we can honestly say that there were times where we didn't have to study, or we thought we didn't have to do our work, and we still were able to pass and stuff like that. But I can honestly say, as a college student, it's going to be a completely different ballgame going into college. And so our main goal is for students to come into college and be successful. And we want to get that in your head now to understand that college it's going to be a different ball game, and you're going to need that support in order to be successful. And the more work you put into being successful, the more successful you will be. And then also, one of the big things about our structure for the first year students is that you are required to take the 2 credit hour course that's taught by our CEED graduate students and staff. So all freshman students who are in Galileo and Hypatia, you have to take the first year experience course, or the first year course for Galileo and Hypatia, and we will actually put you into those classes for this semester. So just know that if you're a part of the community, it's a requirement for you to have to take this course. And that course is there to help you learn work study skills, time management, and also we incorporate ways for you to get involved on campus and go to different social events, professional development activities. There's some student service learning that's mixed in there as well. So it's pretty much a way for you to get acclimated to the university, and then also become a part of the, not only just our community, but the university as a whole. And each student is assigned an upper class mentor, and you will meet with them once a week during that first 10 weeks of the semester. So the fall semester, along with the course, which is only the first 10 weeks as well, you'll also have to meet with your mentor as well during those first 10 weeks. And there are some, if you want to, this will be available for you to view, and you can click on the links and it'll give you all of the information that you need about the course and all that stuff too. So I know that I spoke earlier a little bit about students being able to stay involved after their first year, and a way for you to be able to do that is become a part of the upper class leader, to become a part of, to be an upper class leader. And with that, you can start during your second year, and you can be selected to be a part of what we call our committees. And each person who applies will have to go through an interview process to potentially be a part of the committees for that next year. And these committees are there to help the students. Those students who are committee members actually are the ones who put on the programming, the social events, the professional development events, and all that goodness. So for the first year students, so it's directly connected to the course. And as an upper class leader, you are required to take the 1 credit leadership course that we offer each year. And so some of the upper class leader classes or committees that we have include academic support, communications, data management, outreach, professional development, the service learning, and SMILE is our new mental health community that just came about, and this is their first year actually as a committee. Well, the fall will be their first year as a committee. And then we have the social committee, the studio design challenge committee, which are the students who help actually facilitate the design challenges that are put on during the year, and then the studio training. So these are all of the upper class opportunities for you to do after your first year. And so right now we have our students who are coming in, leaving their first year, going into their second year, who are currently preparing for the students to come in and be a part of the different academic support, the social events and everything like that. And so during your second year also, you can apply to become a peer mentor. The peer mentor is not a guaranteed position, but if you would like to apply to be a peer mentor for the next year, for your sophomore year, you do have that option. And it's a way for you to be able to stay connected to the community. We have a lot of students who come in their freshman year and they want to stay connected to the community. So they want to make sure that they give those students that same experience that they received as a freshman. So they want to be a peer mentor. And just let you know, you have to, in order to be a peer mentor, you have to be a part of the committee as well. And so All mentors and committee members must live in the residence hall the next year. So if you're coming in and you still want to be a part of Hypatia and Galileo, and you want to be a peer mentor or a committee member, then you have to stay in Lee Hall for your sophomore year and moving on. If you want to continue in the capacity of being a part of the community. And then in the third and fourth year, if you don't want to be a part of a committee or a peer mentor, then you have that option to be a part of the leadership team. And you have the option to apply to remain in the community as a mentor, or a committee member as well. So in your third or fourth year, if you want to be a part of what we call the GLT or Galipatia leadership team, then you have that option to do so as well. I know that there are several students who stay within the community as a GLT member up until they graduate. And one last thing about the GLT, which is the Galipatia leadership team, is that they also help to mentor the upper class leaders who are in the committees and who serve in the committee and mentor roles. So the next thing that we're going to talk about, I know that a lot of people are interested in this, is the event studio. And the event studio is located on the second floor of Lee Hall. And there are two different sections of the event studio. So you have Studio 1, which is the design space, the maker space, which has all of the cool 3D printers and all the CADs and everything else that you can potentially think of to help you be successful and so that you can make up different designs and things like that. And then you also have the collaboration studio, which is the space, a study space, which is directly across from the Studio 1, the design space. And both of these spaces are managed by graduate students and a team of upper class leaders. And we always have different corporate and faculty events that are done within these two spaces for you. And so here are a few pictures of some of the things that are available and how the studio looks within the residence hall. So here you can see that there's tables available, the 3D printer and everything that's there within the community. And then this is a picture of our pictures of one of the events that took place as well, with some of the faculty coming in and corporate sponsors coming into the residence hall as well. And here are just a few of the design competitions that have taken place in the past. We have the rocketry team, and then NASA Micro G next. And then next year we're expecting more. Okay, so really quick, we're going to take a quick tour of Lee Hall.
Welcome to Lee Hall, home to the Galipatia Engineering Living Learning Community. Lee Hall is a great place on campus to live. It is one of the cheaper places and houses a great community.
Hi, I'm Sophie. And I'm Rashida, and we're freshmen in general engineering. Now we'll go inside. Lee Hall is home to Hypatia and Galileo, aka Galipatia, which means there's engineers on every floor, and it's really helpful for when you need help in your homework and classes. Lee Hall has two locker rooms, one in the basement and one on the first floor. Students can pay for laundry either with quarters or their own. Now we're going to the second floor. Something that sets Lee apart from other residence halls on campus is that it has Studio 1, our very own makerspace.
So the design studio, my favorite parts of it, which is that it allows students to get access to cutting edge technology that is difficult for freshmen to really get hands-on experience with. So we're talking laser cutters, 3D printers, CNC machines, hand tools, power hand tools, anything you could ever need to prototype some kind of class project or an actual product for an entrepreneurial venture. We have it, and we can do it in our studio.
Right now we're in Studio 2, an air-conditioned study space.
This is Studio 2. It is a place where you can work and study. Through the academic community program, you can get help from upperclassmen on every freshman engineering subject.
Second floor lounge. The second floor lounge was really renovated in 2018. This lounge has a kitchen, TV, ping pong table, and it's one of the only rooms with AC. It's a perfect place to study or relax.
Hey guys, I'm Brenna. Let me show you what a room in Lee Hall looks like. So each room comes furnished with 2 beds, 2 desks, 2 closets, and 2 dressers. For the sink, We've got plenty of space to hold all of your dishwashing needs, contacts, medicine, anything like that. And we also have some good under-storage space as well. For the closets, not the biggest, but they're good enough. Each room is allowed to have one mini fridge and one microwave. And because there's no AC, it's very important that we're allowed to have box fans in the window.
This is the quad directly outside Lee Hall. It includes 2 basketball and volleyball courts, along with an exercise gym. It's a great place to relax and have fun with friends.
And that brings us to the end of our tour. We hope to see you at Virginia Tech soon. Let's go Hokies!
Okay, so I know that a lot of people have questions about the application process. The application is now open. It's been open since late January, and we're going to go through May or maybe even longer, depending on how or when the communities actually fill up. So if the decisions are made on a rolling basis, every Monday I go into the system and I see the students who have applied, and we send off those, we look at those applications. And so it takes about a week for those applications to be looked at. And then once a decision is made, we will send out that information the following week. So let's say if you apply to the community late on a Monday, unfortunately, we won't get that information to be able to look at until the next batch of applications come out for us to look at. So if you've applied, just know that it can take potentially up to 2 weeks for you to hear something back, depending on when you applied. But just know that we are looking at them on a weekly basis. We don't look at the applications every day. It's just a once a week thing. And not to say that we're not going to look at your application, but just know that we complete the application process in batches. So if you haven't heard anything yet, just let us do what we need to do as far as looking at the applications, and just know that moving forward, you should hear something back. Now, if it's been a month or 2 and you haven't heard anything back, or I would say a month, then you can contact me and we can go from there. Excuse me, to see about your applications. And the applications aren't just reviewed by me, they are reviewed by a community of faculty and staff that work with CEED. And so it's just a matter of making sure that it's not just one person who is looking over the applications, but it's a team of people to make sure that everyone is looked at fairly. And we are the only Live and Learning community where you are able to apply to the Live and Learning community before you're actually admitted to the institution. So if you are still on the fence on whether or not you want to come to Virginia Tech and you're interested in this program and you want to, and this is the deciding factor, you have that option to be able to apply to the community before you're accepted into the university or before you accept your admissions offer. And there are a bunch of different links and things for you to look at for more information before you apply. I would honestly say that when trying to apply to the Live and Learning community for Galileo and Hypatia, what you want to do is make sure that you understand why you want to be a part of the community. Because there are a lot of people who come in, not a lot, but there are people who may come into the community and it's more than what they expected. So we want to make sure that you have the most informed, just make the most informed decision before you apply, so that once you get into the program, you're not blindsided by what we have to offer, our expectations for our students. And as you can see, there is a course that's required for the students, which we've already discussed. You will all have a peer mentor, the makerspace that's available in the community. And then if there are any other types of community questions and answers or questions, then you can always go to the galipatiacommunity.com for the frequently asked questions. And then also you will be able to apply online for the community. So let's go ahead and meet some of the leaders. And the first leader is Jessica McDaniel.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jessica McDaniel. My hometown is Greensboro, North Carolina. Some of the clubs and organizations that I'm a part of outside of CEED are NSBE, which is the National Society of Black Engineers, the Dean's Team, which is the recruiting team for the College of Engineering, and I also participate in undergrad research. My role in Galipatia is GLT, so that's the Galipatia Leadership Team, and I'm the Service Learning Liaison. So my role is supervising the upper class leaders who are on the Service Learning Committee, so they make events for the freshmen. And one of the reasons why I love Galipatia, it's very empowering to be surrounded with like-minded women in engineering and having everyone in a fun atmosphere and just encouraging each other. And something that I always like to elaborate on is without Galipatia or CEED, I probably wouldn't have stayed in engineering, but because everyone in the community is so supportive and encouraging, I stayed and thriving now.
Thank you, Jessica. And then Kelly, you're next.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kelly. I'm a civil engineering major, and I'm minoring in green engineering and science, technology, and law. My journey through Galipatia, I joined as a Hypatia student my freshman year. My sophomore year, I was a mentor and served on the professional development committee. And this year, I will be staying on as the professional development committee liaison. So like Jessica oversees the service learning committee, I will be one of two people overseeing the professional development committee. I really enjoyed my time as a freshman in Hypatia enough that I wanted to stay on, and I really think it helped me just the community that we have and all of the people with similar yet incredibly diverse interests that we contain within Lee Hall. It's just very inspiring to see the different walks of life people can come from and end up in the same place, and the amazing things that people can come up with together. And I really wanted to continue to be a part of that, so I stayed on as leadership.
Thank you, Kelly. Zach is next.
Hey everyone, my name is Zach, and I'm a junior studying industrial and systems engineering. And my current role in Galipatia is mentor liaison. So essentially, what I do is I'm the mentor to the first year mentors. So I'm like the mentor's mentor, I guess. And activities outside of Galipatia, I'm a part of the consulting group at Virginia Tech. And I'm a project manager in that group this year, and I'll be on their executive board for next school year. And then just why I love Galipatia and why like I've continued to come back like year after year is first of all, just like it's given me so much like as a freshman, like going into tech, you know, not really knowing anyone, as I come from like a really small town, and just super nervous just about how my first year was going to go and like about the classes I was about to take. It just really gave me a community to lean on to, and gave me like a place to like make friends and just like have fun. And then like what I've gained through like leadership, being a mentor my sophomore year, and then moving on to being a mentor liaison this year, and then also for next year, is just a lot of just very transferable skills, just like how to lead meetings, like how to run an effective presentation, and a lot of just communication and active listening skills.
Thank you, Zach. All right, and last but not least, we have Kobe.
Hello, Kobe Washington. I'm from Milford, Virginia. Sophomore in civil and environmental engineering, and next year I will be a mentor liaison for my junior year. So why did I decide to come to Galipatia and decide to be a part of the program? Well, I'm from a rural community, so I didn't necessarily know too many people going to Virginia Tech. So I was presented with this opportunity to join Galileo. I was on the wait list, got through the wait list. I was a very happy man. And I just needed like somebody to guide me through everything as I transitioned into college, because I wasn't necessarily sure how my transition to college was really going to work. And Galipatia really helped out with that, with helping me professionally, helping me academically. And it's a very tight knit community. People love each other. Lee Hall is pretty fun. And that's really how I got into Galipatia. And I wanted to come back and serve as a mentor like I did this past year. On the left is a picture of me and my mentees. And next year I will be in mentor liaison, mentoring the mentors, as I said earlier.
Thank you so much, Kobe, and thank you to all of the other upper class leaders who are here to assist. Now we're going to go into the question and answer portion of the presentation. So I know that there have been ongoing questions as we go that have been being answered. So if you have questions right now, what you can do is go to the question and answer section of the Zoom so that we can answer your questions. So one of the mentors, I know that there are a lot of people who are asking about the frequency of the events. If you want to share how often the events are held or how that works, that would be great.
So I can answer that question.
Okay.
Events for Galipatia, as a freshman, you're required to attend professional development events, academic support events, service learning events that are put on by our upper class leaders in each committee. So my committee, the professional development committee, we would have a specific number of events that we need to put on so that you all can reach the number of events that you need for your class. It's an assignment within the class to go to these events. So I would say, there's multiple events per week spreading throughout the range of professional development to service learning to social to academic support, but you're never going to be lacking for something to go to if that's a concern. We need enough events that all however many hundred kids can go to all of the events they need to and get credit. And there is an online system that you will get access to sign up, and upper class leaders put their events in with a description and a cap, and you guys sign up, and then that's how you get credit afterwards as well.
Thank you, Kelly. Next, I know that there are a lot of people who are interested in figuring out how to find a roommate for the community. So would anybody like to answer any suggestions on how to find a roommate for the community?
Yeah, I can take this one. I remember how I found my roommate, like leading up to my freshman year, was I posted in the Virginia Tech class of 2021 group on Facebook. I just made a post, put some pictures of myself, like wrote some facts about myself, and also explained how I was going to be in Galileo, and that I was looking for someone like specifically who's going to be in Galileo. So that's one way to do it. And just to clarify, it would be the Virginia Tech class of 2024 for you all.
Thank you. Another question that we have right now is, how are people living in Lee Hall, how will they be notified of events happening within Galipatia?
I got that one. So this upcoming year, we will be using this Discord to communicate with all of the freshmen. So on Discord, there's a bot that will basically post when events are posted for Galipatia, and you'll be able to go on to BT Gyms, which is a website where you can sign up for Galipatia events and receive credit for them.
So what would you say are some of your favorite and least favorite parts of the community?
I can answer that one. So one of my favorite parts of the community is that everyone is so encouraging and empowering of each other. So when I was in high school going to visit other colleges, a lot of people kept making it seem like it was going to be a competition. So I was getting kind of nervous, but then when I came here and lived in Lee, everyone was just so supportive. And like, if you didn't do good on that test, everyone was helping each other out. Or if you don't know how to do your homework, everyone in the dorm is taking the same classes that you are. So if you need help with something, it's easier reaching out to your roommate or the person across the hall than trying to have to go out and find a tutor and stuff like that. And then one of my least favorite parts, I guess, would be that we don't have AC, but it's only hot in Blacksburg for like not that long. So the heat really comes in handy.
And so someone else wants to know, what are the materials that are provided within the event studio, and what material do you need to bring with you?
I can preliminarily answer that question. I'm not an expert by any means on what is in the studio and not in the studio, but I can tell you that they will have the majority of what you're looking for in the way of tools and materials and whatnot. And if you're looking for something specifically for a project on your own, then you would probably need to talk to one of the students who works it. But if it's an event that you're participating in, then all the materials will be provided.
So if you're doing something that I can add is that if you are doing a personal project, you have to bring your own material. But the 3D printing is free for community members. So there's some more additional information with that as well. Someone else asked what their requirements are for the laptop. If I'm not mistaken, you should receive something specifically from the Department of the College of Engineering, letting you know the specifications for the laptop that you need. If someone can, Susan, I know that you're on here. Where can we find that answer for where the laptop information?
Sure. If you just do a Google search for Virginia Tech College of Engineering computer requirements, there's a website that gives you the details about the computer requirements. I would throw it back a little bit to the students just to, you guys kind of talk about how you made your decision for what kind of computer that you wanted to use and just your input on that process.
Did any of the leaders have anything additional that you would like to add to that?
Can I just say, for engineering specifically, your first year, you're going to need to be able to run SolidWorks on whatever computer you choose. And then I would look into, if you have an idea of what major you want to do, what programs you're likely to have to run on your computer, and just make sure that whatever computer you get has the capacity to run those programs. But other than that, whatever they have on the website, I would definitely recommend going with that.
So I know I see a lot of these questions. Students want to know if they will be missing out on any other support or anything being a part of this community. The question is, all of the support that is wonderful, and they want to know if they will be missing out on anything being with students with different interests and majors. So will the students be missing out on anything being a part of the community?
I can answer this one. So I think first off, like, no, because I believe like Galipatia will just be one part of your college career, and you'll definitely have like ample amount of time to join any other like student orgs or take like different types of classes or join like project teams, just to like expand your horizons and continue to meet like new and different people from different majors and different backgrounds and stuff like that. So I'd say no, because you have like a lot of time to do and like experience and explore like different stuff that you might be interested in.
Another person wants to know how Hypatia differs from one of the sororities. Hypatia is not a sorority. We are specifically a living learning community, whereas the sorority could potentially still do some of the same things as far as social events and things like that. We are specifically here to make sure that you become a well-rounded student while you're here, and that you are successful after you graduate. So it's not all about social events and things like that. It's specifically so that you can be successful as a student and then go on to get a job after you graduate. And so there's some questions about some of the professional development events and activities that we take part in or that we host each year. Can the panelists talk about the expo preview and other professional development events that take place?
One of the biggest events that the Professional Development Committee helps put on is called Expo Preview. And I'm not sure if you're aware, but Expo is what we call our large engineering career fair in the fall. This is the day before that, and it's basically an event exclusive to our Galipatia students. And we have employers come and set up booths, and you all have the ability to go talk to them. It's treated as a career fair, basically. And the point is to let you guys practice talking to employers and doing your elevator pitch and putting a little bit of polish on your career fair game before the actual expo. And so that's an event that's mandatory for all freshmen to attend. And you'll get more information about that in your class if you decide to do Galipatia. And other events that help you professionally, we have resume reviews, we have discussions about professional dress. I'm really excited for next year because the upper class leaders who are coming into my committee are extremely creative, and they have some great, really fun ideas about teamwork and leadership things that they want to put on for you all. But if you have questions about professional events or if you have suggestions that you'd like to see, you can always reach out and we'd be happy to take that input.
A question about the acceptance to the Hypatia or Galileo. Once you receive the email saying that you have been accepted into the community, then there should be a deadline given to you on that email. So typically we allow for up to a month or so for a student to accept their offer. But if something happens and you need additional time, you can always send out an email to me to request for additional time to go in and accept it. So if there's any issues with being able to go online and accept it, you can do that, but just know that at this point, the cutoff for being able to accept your application or your offer is May 15th at the latest. There are some students who have had earlier offers that they need to accept before that. And we also have someone who wants to know whether or not participating in a club or activity like the band, how that would impact their participation within the community. Will they have enough time to be able to do that?
Participating in other clubs, in doing band and things like that. I know there are several students within Galipatia who are in the band and they're able to balance it. It's really how well you manage your time. I would just suggest your freshman year, don't join every single club, just join one. And then after you get your time management together, then you can expand and join other clubs and see how it affects your work schedule.
So there's a question about someone was accepted into the community. Congratulations. Do you need to accept the offer to Hypatia before doing the contract for housing with the roommate? So right now, the roommate information is not out there as of yet. So you will have to put down your deposit and all that before you're able to accept your offer for Hypatia. And your roommate information won't come out until later. And we will be getting back with you soon to let everyone know who has questions about roommates and all that good stuff about how the roommate selection process and things are going to work. Right now, we don't have a lot of information with every thing that's been going on with COVID. So we hopefully we'll have additional information soon. So someone else wants to know, did you have classes with non-Galipatia students in your first year?
How can I answer this one? So the answer is yes, you definitely have classes with non-Galipatia students in your first year. I'd say, especially for the non-engineering classes, almost all your classmates will not be in Galipatia. So, your first year English, maybe your first year chemistry that you will likely have to take, you will definitely see people who are not in Galipatia around campus. Maybe if you join the club, but when you're back in Lee, you will be back as a part of that community. So you get a lot of chances to meet people in and out of Galipatia.
And I think one of the biggest things that a lot of students want to know is, are you able to meet other people outside of Galileo and Hypatia? You have that option. We don't force you to stay within the community to make friends. You just like anywhere else you go, the more effort that you put into finding friends, the better it's going to be. So we encourage you to get out there and join clubs and be a part of not only the Galipatia community, but also a part of the VT community as well. So someone asked what percentage of male freshman engineering majors live in Galileo. I shared that a little earlier with, for this year, we're only accepting up to 338 freshman male students into Galileo. And so that's maybe, I wanna say maybe like no more than 10%. But I can't give you a definite answer because I'm not for sure what the numbers are for the freshman class for the engineering class. Someone else wants to know if first year classes like physics and calculus are going to be with all engineering students, or will there be people who are not majoring in engineering? And I think that Kobe pretty much answered that one. But Kobe, can you elaborate on that just a little bit?
Yes, so for physics and calculus specifically, I definitely know it is not 100% engineering students. I'd say for the physics class I was in, I'd say it's about 60-70% engineers, maybe. Calculus is probably half. So yeah, it's definitely not all engineering. The only class for a fact that you will have all engineers is the 2-credit Galipatia course.
Someone else wants to know if there's a list of clubs and things that are available. If you Google Virginia Tech organizations or clubs, you will be able to see the different clubs that are available for the university. As far as the number of spaces left in Galileo right now, I can't give a specific number because there are a lot of offers out there, and we do have spaces still available. So I would encourage you, if you're interested in applying to the community, to go ahead and apply, but make sure that you apply as soon as possible. And also make sure that you are taking a look at the website, the Galipatia community website, so that you can actually see what is being offered and what we do for the community members. So let's see, to kind of wrap it up for everyone, if the student panelists can just kind of give your thoughts and last minute advice for the students who are still interested in being a part of the community, that would be great.
I definitely highly recommend it. When I was in high school, I was iffy and didn't know really if the community would be right for me. But after just taking that leap of faith and going into the community, I realized it was one of the best decisions that I ever made. And just coming in, it really just gives you someone like a community of people who's all cheering for you outside of your parents, and just having someone there when you're so far away from home, and just helping you get in that fresh start when you get to campus.
So my number one thing that I've been thinking about the whole time I've been in here is mostly, if you're on the wait list, do not lose hope. Some people end up choosing to go to another school and all of that stuff. I know my freshman year, I was 29th on a wait list and I ended up getting in. And I'm very glad that happened, because Galipatia has definitely helped me find new friends, especially freshman year, where I could have a community of people. We were all doing the same kind of things. You could study together. It just made a whole lot of those type of things more accessible. Because I could imagine living in another dorm, it'd be hard to find another engineer around. That was no issue in Lee Hall. So I really appreciate that fact about being in the community.
My advice would be just keep an open mind, whether you end up in Galipatia or not. Just coming into college, make sure, especially engineering, when you're trying to decide which major you want to do, keep an open mind, and don't be afraid to ask questions and try something out. Worst comes to worst, you learn that you don't like it and you don't want to do that. And that's the valuable lesson in and of itself. I wish you all the best, whether you're in Galipatia or not, but I hope you join us next year.
Yeah, I just want to add, just whether you are in Galipatia or not, just try to make the most of your time in college. Just especially like the first few weeks that you're living in your new dorm. Just go out and try to meet and like make friends with the people living on your floor. And then in your classes, just participate, ask questions, just make sure you really understand like everything that's going on like in all of your classes. And then just try to just figure out what you're interested in, and then look for clubs and organizations that fit those interests, and just really make the most of your time.
Thank you so much to all the student panelists for joining us today and answering all the questions. And then finally, I know that there was someone who asked about their application. If you've been accepted to either Hypatia or Galileo, what you would have to do is follow the steps that were sent to you in the email once you receive that official offer letter. If you have any issues or concerns, you can always email me. My email is D as in David, E-A-N as in Nancy, N as in Nancy, E, P as in Paul, at vt.edu. That's DEANNEP at vt.edu. And I want to thank everyone for being a part of this, for participating, for coming out and listening to us speak. We greatly appreciate it. So if there are any follow-up questions, please make sure to email me and I can get your questions answered and go from there. But thank you so much, everyone, for coming out and being a part.